really exciting on my birthday. It is my birthday, and I'm excited about, even though it's cold as anything else. I mean, it's so cold it makes your face, it freezes when you walk up the street. You can't even talk right. It's so cold outside, but I'm happy and I'm warming my spirit and my soul. We had Wally Bell out of Columbus, Ohio this morning, and his birthday is tomorrow. My cousin out of Columbus, Ohio, he's one day apart from me, so my uncle and my dad must have been hanging out or something with their women or something. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, he's 1 year up. Then we had Reverend Willie Bardwick. His birthday is Monday. Julia Mejia's birthday, who was in the studio, is January 1st. Zakia Laki's birthday is January as well, and she'll be on in a few minutes as well. And then who is some other birthdays going on? Oh, Leon Rock, who's our national correspondent out of D.C. His birthday is the same day as mine. So there's something going on here on birthdays. And then we have my other cousin here, Tito Jackson. When is your birthday's in April?
My birthday is in April. Okay. My birthday is in April, so
okay.
yes, sir.
April 16th, 15th,
April 11th.
April 11th. Okay, I know the reason why I know that.
411. For those who remember 411, not everybody is of age to remember 411.
Can you explain 411?
That was information back in the day, and some folks are old enough to remember when you used to call and get the time.
617.
The time. 67, wasn't 67, something like that? Okay.
637 1234.
Yes. So you can get the time.
Isn't that something?
And you could get the weather.
There you go. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Good. You're right. It will make you feel alive.
But you're a good brother to be with when it's cold. I can just walk right behind you.
Okay. So we got you see this?
It's my birthday.
I'm not gonna clap back on your birthday. I'll get you tomorrow. I'll get you tomorrow, Ron. I'll get you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
No, it's all good. I'll see you on a prayer call. We have a prayer call 4 p.m. on Sunday with the family.
We were actually talking about that earlier. Reverend Willie Bardwick, we were talking about prayer because Lisa called in.
Oh,
yeah, Lisa called in and she started singing, and I was like, I know, isn't that funny? Lisa sung to us, and we talked about how the pandemic had brought our family even closer.
Oh my goodness.
And we're starting to find out things about each other that we never knew.
Yep.
That we had talked about Uncle Clavin, who is Uncle Cleaver.
Okay. We don't know people's names.
We didn't even know our name. We call our relatives other names, but it's all good that family is so important and the prayer is so good, and I mean it's just good to see us being blessed, man.
Honestly, and I think when we think about what's happened in the past couple of years, there are many bad things, and there are many condolences that we see on even more and more on a daily basis. But the one thing that for me it's done, and you're really bringing it up, is being able to recenter what's important.
Yeah.
And it is about our family. It's about our community. It's also about slowing down.
Yeah.
And taking the time to be deliberate about relationships.
Right.
And in our family prayer call, the other piece is, as adults, you also realize most of the time you see your family, you're at some type of family event.
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And things are just passing so quickly. And then, for me, just to get to see, acknowledge, and love on folk on a regular basis, and then also to acknowledge their particular gifts.
Right.
That they have. And also the other piece is the challenges that people have, right? This is your family, so you should be able to have those conversations also. So I just think at this time, I would encourage folks. We do this on a weekly basis with our family, and I want to thank my family because this actually started when I had COVID in March 2020.
Right.
And we have kept through on a weekly basis since that time. And so I'm just really, really blessed. And I like to let folks know some people were born into the family, but they selected me, first round draft pick.
Your mother selected.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't selected.
Hey,
I would have had you on the bench. I would have kept you on the bench. No, sir.
I was chosen. I was chosen, unlike some other folks.
Anyway, so you're right though. It's been really good. It's funny. Or even on the call Sunday, they were like, "Where you at?" They looking in the background, and they were getting in our business. I said, "Don't leave me alone. Let me have my little time together for myself."
Family,
but anyway, family really no. So let's talk about the Black Male Commission. Councilor Julia Mejia was just in here on the last broadcast, and we talked about it's getting ready to happen, man. Yeah. It's getting ready to happen thanks to you filing this 7 years ago. And the work that went into this, and I was sharing with Councilor Mejia that how when that legislation was vetoed by then Marty Walsh, that was like a stab in my heart. I took it personal, and I shouldn't take things like that personal, but it did. It bothered me. Even like this past election, I felt like I didn't do my part for some reason. And in Julie and I was talking about how sometimes we take on other people's issues and problems, and I know I do that a lot. And I never forget the time when I had a heart attack and I was in the in the bed, and I had a visitor, and they were like, pass off, this is something else. They were like, Ron, man, you look bad, man. I had all the wires and everything, and right? And he was like, man, you look bad. And then finally they went like this, you think you still can get me that job? I said, Lord, that's when I knew. That's why I said, boy. Yeah. You got to take care of yourself, self-care. But anyway, how do you feel?
So one, I want to thank City Councilor at Large, Julia Mejia, for keeping her word, keeping her promise to advance the Black Men's Commission. I want to thank former mayor, now Kim Janey, and props to her for the couple fellowships that she's just picked up, one at Harvard, one at Salem State.
That's awesome.
Which is really, really great. But for her for signing it.
Right.
And I want to thank, most importantly, the over 700 Black brothers who stepped up and had this conversation. So, by the way, we could have passed this very quickly. It passed the Boston City Council when I was there, 13-0, and should have gone to the mayor to be passed. And then, in addition, their legal counsel said that it was that we couldn't override it with the veto. All kinds of shenanigans that happened at the time. But the real issue remains that the group that has been least served, that has been harmed the most, that is behind the most in the city of Boston, is Black men. And understand, this model was one that we just took their model.
That's right.
There's a women's commission.
Right.
Well over 25 years in the city of Boston, the reason why you find in City Hall that there is childcare is because that came from the Women's Commission, because they were dealing with those issues. The city of Boston does have a disparity, still has a disparity in terms of pay, but that disparity is less than other cities because it's something that actually gets tracked.
Right.
Now, if we look at all of those outcomes for Black men, in addition to how long we live, in addition to our outcomes in schools in terms of dropouts, economics, all that stuff, we are doing the worst. So if we're actually trying to close the gaps in the city of Boston, you can't take the easy route. You actually have to deal with the issues of the people who are most disparately affected. So I'm very, very proud. I'm proud of the Black Male Committee, the brothers who have come together and steadfastly continue to push this. And I'm very, very happy that Frank Farrell is now in the administration.
Yes, awesome.
and really good brother, and pushing this work forward.
Right.
But it also means that we still have to continue to do the work outside, to continue to hold feet to the fire to make sure that we deal with these issues. So I'm very, very excited about the work that's actually happening on that front. And lastly, a budget is a value statement.
That's right.
And so the next piece is we do have to push to ensure that Mayor Wu includes resources in the budget.
Right.
There's a old school song. Y'all must know who sang this one, because okay. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. You gotta have J.O.B. if you want to be with me. So when it comes to both of y'all, okay, everybody wasn't always saved. Both of y'all were DJs, so let's not. Okay. So don't act like y'all don't know that song.
I know the song.
But when I know the song. So again, that is a really important issue. And Ron, on that issue, I think one of the other components is even in the industry that I'm in now, we need to continue to make sure that people of color, specifically black people, right? Because that's one of the other things that's also happening when we talk about the war on drugs and the disproportionate effects on the war on drugs in the city of Boston. It is specifically black men and Latino men who were disproportionately affected. Yeah. And I know that there are many assertions now that other groups should be in that mix, but let's let the statistics tell the truth.
There you go.
Right? And so we have an opportunity, as other communities are making hundreds of millions of dollars, and actually the state of Massachusetts in cannabis last year did over $1.2 billion.
Right.
With that said, it is absolutely critical that we take our rightful place in this space. And so I'm doing that with the business that I have on 150 State Street in downtown Boston, where we have a 7-story building, and we are manufacturing, retail, and we actually will have a kind of bar and lounge type situation there. And so these are really critical pieces. I was actually talking to Nia Grace the other day. Only 8 liquor licenses owned by black folk in the city of Boston. These are the ones that have value.
Out of how many?
Over 1,200. Right. So when we think about generational wealth, right? Because the thing is, we know these licenses are worth between $450,000 and $500,000.
Right.
Only 8, and then we're talking about the old institutions like Wally's.
Right.
Right. We got NETA. We got District 7. So we can, like, in a very short period of time pick out.
There's not that many
that are there. Right. And so those are these businesses, and I think when we think about community revitalization, we recently had Kern Grimes pass away.
Right.
Grimes Oil. Remember, Grimes Oil was in the Black Enterprise 100.
Right.
Which is one of the largest black-owned companies in the United States of America at that time in the 80s. The sad part is, in 2022, we don't have any companies in the city of Boston that are on that list. And so, by the way, northern folks, don't sleep on the South and don't sleep on the Midwest.
That's right.
Most of the companies that you see now those are the places that they're actually coming from. And a lot of that has to do with what happens in the municipal government and state government.
Right.
We know that the Atlanta airport, when they rebuilt it, Hartsfield Jackson International Airport, 50% of the jobs, contracts. Let me get
out of that mindset.
Get right about working. 50% of the contracts, right, went to black folk.
Right.
Right. So that's where you have resources in which I don't have to. If Ron Bell gets a $50 million contract to build something, I don't think I have to chase Ron to hire black folk. Right. So there is a kind of natural component to dealing with folk who have these connections in these communities, and will give folks an opportunity and have that pipeline. Because if that were the case, all of the people who still call you for jobs would be able to get on. So we really need to think about that. This is also where we partner with our mayor,
right,
who gets it.
Right.
I believe strongly that Mayor Wu gets it based on the legislation that she's put forward in the past. And I would encourage that every single department head in the city of Boston be graded on the diversity hiring, and the expenditures that happen in the department. That's a critical component, and it should be part of everybody's review.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that because we had City Councilor Charles Yancey on the phone, and I
My man,
yeah, right, and I told
that's why I know what a city councilor is.
Thank you.
Is because of Charles Yancey.
Yeah, and we were talking about Rosa, your mom, and how she talks about that was one of her first campaigns, and I told him I'd seen that at a young age, and even Herb used to have us kicking cans, and before it was before you
got 5 cents.
Yeah, we used to have to stomp them.
Yes.
So we had to work. We have a caller on the air, Boston Black News. You're live on Boston Black News.
Good morning. This is your sister Cece.
Hey, what's up, Cece?
Oh yeah. The West Coast. The West Coast has risen.
And we freezing up here. It's 10 degrees up here, Cece.
Oh my goodness. It's like I think it's gonna be like almost 80 today.
Oh. Crazy. Wow, you gotta send me some of that in the email.
I will. But I just wanted to make a quick call in because I'm gonna hit the set. I'm so proud of you. Happy birthday. And real quick, I am so proud of the Dunk the Vote. If it wasn't for you, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't even be voting.
Wow.
Because I remember back in the day when you started Dunk the Vote, I really didn't get the whole gesture of voting. Even though all these people have paved the way for us, I was just young and going off to college and just doing my thing. Right. It wasn't until you started Dunk the Vote that I became a little bit more involved. And then I thought to myself, wow, this is a huge thing.
That's so nice.
And I just wanted to say thank you for doing that.
Right. And Tito's in the studio with me now.
What's going on, cuz? How you doing?
Lisa called it earlier. We were talking about our family prayer. Go ahead.
Ron, we call it bullying now. That's why I actually ended up being part of Dr. Vote. He was just my older cousin bringing stuff on. And I'll tell a quick story before we get off. We used to go to this thing called Third Eye Open in New Bedford.
Right.
And it was right when Red Bull came out. So Ron brought us down there. I was thirsty.
Oh, no.
Right? And so they kept on giving it was just, Red Bull had just come out. So they just kept on giving them to me, right? I didn't realize what it was, right? So we were doing voter registration down there, right? So I'm down there doing voter registration. We get back, and people are like, yo, how many did you, we out there for 2 hours, how many did you get? People, 3, 5, 7. I got 53. Because I had 4 things. Of Red Bull. So people just thought something was wrong with the brother, that I was going to hurt him. So I think they just filled out the stuff. So
that was like cracking a soda can.
Red Bull.
I would never drink that again. That was a bad experience. But we registered a lot of people.
We sure did.
Thank you, Cece, for calling in. We'll check in with you later on. God bless you. Love you too.
Love you.
All right. We have another caller on the air calling you live on Boston Black News.
Yes, hello. This is Reverend Lisa Ward wishing Ron Bell a happy birthday.
Hey,
the universe danced when you were born, dude.
All right. Thank you so much. Right out of Milton. That's right. That's my Milton neighbor. Right. All right. Thank you for calling in. I bless you so much.
Sure.
And we got some more work to do. We got the march coming up. I got a call from an email from Karen Grace Horn.
Right.
And we need to do the George Floyd's march, second annual George Floyd's march again, from Milton to Mattapan. And I know you was very much involved in that. So thank you for your work and your service as well.
Building relationships. Yep, that's important. And every voice counts. So thank you for Dunk the Vote.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Amen.
All right. Take care.
617-282-0685. We're here on my birthday with my cousin Tito Jackson. So Tito, congratulations on the work though, man. I mean, I know that it was hard getting that building and doing that and getting that, and I know you're scheduled to open up when?
We're looking at late April, early May. And the piece is, the most important piece here is to be able to pass it on, right? And so to get open and one, show that we can do it, right? Because I find it really interesting because we go to these meetings and we have all these dudes in suits who are like, oh my goodness, I don't know how we can deal with security for a delivery or whatever. And I'm like, well, it's already being delivered. I don't know what y'all know, but I can tell you right now, it's actually, what do you want, actually? Let me know what you want. We can actually have it delivered here to the hearing. Right. We have these components where I look at these things as transferable skills. If you are able to do this on a street corner and Instagram or the like, and you're able to distinguish yourself in that space with basically the same products, you actually have a business. Right. And we want to make sure that people who got locked up don't get locked out of these opportunities. That's right. Right? So it can't be that the folks in our community get locked up, but now this opportunity opens, and then we don't know how to do it, or we're not qualified. Yeah, right. And so we want to make sure that that's the case. And one of the biggest issues that we have is funding. Right. Right. And the funding meaning, first off, banks. We have issues with banks, even with houses and normal stuff. But there's not banking in the cannabis space. Meaning, you can have $5 million in the bank, Ron. They won't loan you $100,000. Wow. And it's because of the federal illegality. So the federal and the other piece is that when you are getting a property, they can't have a mortgage on it because mortgages are federally backed. Wow. And so you have to find properties, a subset of properties that do not have a mortgage on the building. And then you have to hold that property until you get your license. And I'm handsome, but I'm not pretty. So they're not gonna allow for me to just hold it just cause. And so you actually have a hold fee on a regular basis. So it becomes very expensive in that space. And so one of the things that we also want to do is put together a fund to help other folks get into the industry. Come over to the non-legacy side of the industry. It's not as if we are not the first ones to do this, and I think we have to pay homage to that. And the reason why we called my location Apex Noir. Yeah, explain that. Could I? Yeah. So the Apex means the pinnacle, the top tier of, but Noir means black in French. Okay. So I was able to say it in French, but so it means black in French, and it is an important testament to the pathway that we've had to walk, and in a state, interestingly, that in our law, we are the first state in the union to acknowledge the disparity in the war on drugs actually in the law. So it is up to us to continue to make sure that we invite people in, that black folk and Latino folk are counted, and that we are not only working, but that we are able to build wealth and pass on wealth to our communities also. So that's what it's about. Well, first of all, I'm sitting here listening to how serious this conversation is, but I'm also looking at your mass move, and I didn't want. No, it's the way you're moving, and I know you got jokes because when you said something, and I had a good comeback, but I said I ain't gonna mess with him because it's my birthday. See, Pastor Hobbs, you see what I have to you see what I had to deal with on the brother. I got to take all these shots because it's the brother's birthday. This is the stuff that I have to deal with. This is why we got to pray as a family every week. We got 617-282-0685. It is my birthday. We have a caller live on Boston Black News. Caller, you're live.
Hey, Ron, George calling.
Hey, George, how you doing? My man.
Hey. I mean, how are you doing? This is the time for voting rights.
There you go, man. Listen, I have Tito Jackson in the studio with me. We're having a good old time, and we're fighting for voting rights, access, and equity. And you called, so you're right on time, George. Because this voting rights thing is important, man. This is like what? George, all this work we've done over the years, this is George Pillsbury, one of the founders of Boston Vote.
Boston Vote, and the thing is, George, this is your Super Bowl right now.
I know.
Hey, George, we got some work to do now, man. Major work.
You don't have to worry. we don't have to worry about the Patriots, I guess. So we have to vote out the real Patriots. We all have to, it's time for all of us to be actually patriots.
That's right, George,
and restore, get this country back on track.
Man. George, I think it's time for me and you to have a strategy meeting again, because this is ridiculous, man. All these time, I was sharing on the air how we had worked so hard to get early voting ever since 2000, and maybe a little bit before that. And when it took, 16 years for even in Massachusetts.
Well, that's the thing. Our state is incredibly behind other states in a lot of these reforms. I mean, we have, we're good at a lot of things in Massachusetts, but not election, reform, making our, why don't we have same-day registration? Why don't we have early voting? Really, in the book, not just temporary.
That's absolutely.
And all the, things like ranked choice voting and all that. We gotta be a beacon of democracy, not a museum.
You got that right, George. Thank you for calling in. I really appreciate you, and we'll be talking soon, man. Take care.
Well, thanks for all your great work, Ron and Tito. I mean, you're leading this, for many years. So.
Thank you for doing all the work that you've done over all of these years. I remember one of the first times I testified at Boston City Hall was at a hearing, and I was actually bringing up the fact that I went to school in New Hampshire, and they had election day registration, and that the state of Massachusetts and Boston was behind. And George, I want to say that was probably in the early 2000s, maybe.
Right.
So, it is very important, and the work that you've done has come to fruition. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I'll be calling you soon, George. 617-282-0685. We're really excited about today. We're going to be ending this broadcast. I want to thank you, my cousin, former city councilor, the Honorable Tito Jackson.
So... Pastor House. So now I'm honorable after this brother done. Okay, so this. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know if there's a red button in here about y'all don't do beat Boston Black News. So,
actually, I have a button over here that can make that seat go up.
Okay.
Go right to the moon with Jeff Bezos in them.
See.
Anyway, I just want to appreciate everyone for the birthday wishes. It's really been exciting. I'm going to continue to celebrate all the way until all the way, right? And I believe my sister is going to be coming on at 11:30. Well, actually, the next broadcast, which is at 10:30, and then we're going to have Leon Rock out of Washington D.C. He's going to be carrying his broadcast, and it is his birthday today. So we're just celebrating birthdays, we're just celebrating life, And I just really excite me to see people happy, people are blessed. And I believe we do have one more caller on the air. Caller, you're live on Boston Black News.
Hey, Brother Ron Bell, this is Saeed Abdi Kareem.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Shirt, man. How are you, man? Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you so much, man. I thought I was going to see you in the studio. I guess we're a little bit too cold for you, huh?
Yeah, I got stuck with the kids.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, man. Nah, man, you my man. At least you called in. And I know you made your contribution. I know that. So, we're doing good, man, and I appreciate the work you're doing, and you have a bright future, brother, and I want to talk to you about some other things because one of the sisters here, Zakia Lockie, wanted to talk to you more about the work you're doing, so we got to make sure we do this connection, all right?
Absolutely, brother. Looking forward to talking to Sister Zakia, and I'm sorry that I missed it to come in this morning. I was looking forward to actually talking to our brother from the King Foundation.
Yeah, King Boston. He'll be coming in. He couldn't make it in this morning, but he's going to reschedule. He's actually in Louisiana. He thought it was going to be a call-in. So, Amari Paris Jeffries, he couldn't make it in. So we're going to be rescheduling him. So I want to make sure I connect you two together. But we've had some exciting guests. We had, of course, Wally Bell out of Columbus, Ohio, who's my cousin. His birthday's tomorrow. Then we had Councilor Julia Mejia. Councilor Jackson's here now, Reverend Willie Broderick, and others. I mean, it's just been really exciting, and now we have you calling in. So we all just need to continue to work together and to fight for voting rights, access, and equity. So, brother, I will be calling you soon. Thank God for you, and I bless you, man.
I appreciate you, brother. You guys have a wonderful day.
Okay. So it's been an exciting moment. It's been an exciting moment. It's been an exciting morning. We've had catfish, grits, and eggs, and all kind of things going on here, right here on Global Ministries.
Could you tell them how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 39, and
you know we're in the church.
I'm 39 years old. What's the matter?
Okay, that's cool. So don't mess up the equipment with the lightning, brother. Don't mess up the equipment. I know Pastor Wall.
Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, see, okay. Don't let me get started on here now. Don't let, you do that. I've been good. I got jokes. I got jokes.
I'm glad you can remember them, my brother. I'm glad you can remember them.
Okay, you got jokes. Anyway. This is what family does, right? We laugh, we joke. I'm going to get them after this, y'all. I'm going to get them. I know how much money they raise down there in downtown Boston. All you mission brothers, we're going to be waiting. It's been a really good time. I just want to say, as Fred Douglas said, we are one our cause this one. We must help each other. Continue to laugh. Enjoy yourselves. Happy birthday to me. God bless y'all all. I'll see y'all next week. God bless you.
God bless.
You are crazy.